I am going to do a super long 28-day go live challenge video today. Today is day 23, and it also happens to be so 23 is a 5 numerologically speaking, and today is also a 5-day when you add up all of the numbers involved in today's date. Anyway, I resonate very beautifully with the number 5. It's kind of all about change and fun and joy and excitement and, you know, maybe a little bit like anxious, like a, anyway, I resonate with that very, very much, as you probably already know if you've watched me live before. Anyway, I'm going to do this a little bit longer than I have been doing these 28-day go live challenges live videos, mostly because I want to do a quick little tapping session with you guys. I don't know if you have any clue what EFT tapping is, but the Tapping Solution has their 13th annual tapping summit right now, and it's just a fantastic way. It's one of the best ways I personally have experienced in releasing beliefs or thoughts or really experiences in my life that are no longer serving me and instead are keeping me stuck in a place that I don't want to be anymore, right? So the tapping session that I'm going to do today is on self-acceptance. So if you know anything about me, I'm Jamie Allen Bishop with Soul Heart Entertainment, and I am somebody who is very focused on self-love, embracing that you are good enough, embracing the idea that it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter what background you come from, none of that matters if we embody the idea that we're here to share whatever wisdom and knowledge we've gained with humanity to help increase the vibration of the world around us. That's something that I'm very, very passionate about. So, as you know, you can't look for any of that peace and joy and happiness outside yourself. You have to start with you. You have to fill up your own cup first, put your own mask on, and then you can help the world around you, and then you can serve in the highest, best way that you're meant to be serving your people, just anybody who you interact with. Do you leave the grocery store with the guy or gal behind the counter with a happy face? You know, do you leave them better off than you found them? Do you, walk down the street and pick up the piece of trash that's blowing in the breeze? Do you, there's so many different ways that we can better the world around us. And the best way, in my opinion, is to show up as your best self. And if you don't love you, who else can? Who else can truly, deeply, and passionately love you if you don't love yourself? If you don't have that self-respect to know that what imperfections you've embraced within yourself, you can't embrace that in somebody else. It's not possible, at least not in my experience. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox around self-love and self-acceptance and get on to the EFT tapping session. So if you don't know about EFT, it's this idea that there are trigger points on our body where we might hold energy, where we might hold negativity, where we might have, if you think of that map of the nervous system, if you've ever seen it, you know that all those nerves are interconnected. Well, I feel like the world, and I'm getting my little confirmation goosebumps, I feel like the world around us looks exactly like that map. It's all interconnected, okay? Whether it's the trees, whether it's this little fish tank sitting next to me, whether it's you across the country or across the world, it doesn't matter. We're all connected on some level in some way, and just by existing, Okay, it's that ether piece of the world around us. So with EFT, when we're tapping, what we're doing is we're acknowledging that somebody somewhere in the world, possibly, because, well, it's not even possibly, they do, it does exist. We wouldn't be able to call these pieces of information forward into our brain or into our knowledge base if it didn't exist somewhere. So tapping is the idea that you're tapping into the collective consciousness and helping release the negativity that's going on out there. So if there's something that that's driving you crazy, that's rubbing you the wrong way, that is no longer serving society in general, we can all tap on it for society in general. We don't have to necessarily feel that way within us or believe that way within us, but we can tap on that for everybody. I think that's a very powerful place to be. And since we're talking about self-awareness today, or self-acceptance today, I think that's a pretty cool place to be, a very empowered place to be able to tap for self-acceptance, both within you and what you're doing in the world, and for the collective conscience. Isn't that super cool? So we're gonna do this tapping for society at large, and for all parallels and all universes and all experiences, quantum, 3D, 4D, 5D, it doesn't matter to me. I'm tapping for everything that can possibly reach me. Okay, so if you would join me, we'll start with going over what tapping is. So tapping is, or I'm sorry, the points of tapping. So we start right here with the hand at the karate chop, and that's kind of like right here between, right in the middle. We next go to the third eye, which is right between the eyebrows. Then we go to the side of the eye. Then we go underneath the eye, underneath the nose, underneath the lips. And notice how a lot of this has to do with our head space. It all has to do with our thoughts and beliefs. You can sure as heck bet that. And then the next space is this area where our heart center is, okay? So the next from after the chin is the collarbone, and then underneath the armpit, okay? So we go from our head space to our heart space, and then back up to the very, very top of our cranium where we connect with source energy or God energy. Okay, and with tapping, what we're doing is we're acknowledging, I can speak today. We're acknowledging that our deep-seated beliefs, and again, it doesn't have to be you, it could be the collective conscience or consciousness. I can speak. I can speak. Laughing. Okay, so the collective consciousness can be changed or might carry these negative belief systems. So what we want to do is we want to acknowledge that the belief systems exist somewhere, some way, potentially within us as well. And then we want to change that or translate it or maybe flip it, or it's not change. We're not changing an experience or anything, but we're maybe shifting it from one perspective to a different perspective. So as I go through this, some people that join this video will feel like I'm saying a whole bunch of stuff that is a whole bunch of lies. And that's beautiful, because when you think of it as lies, you're starting to understand that the collective conscious is all lying to itself, including us sometimes, right? So again, we're tapping for everybody and everything and anything that connects with us on a energetic, vibrational, spiritual, whatever level, okay? All right, so let's do this. We also want to kind of check in with our body to see where we're at. So when it comes to the idea of self-acceptance, how does that feel? Can you pull to mind a memory from childhood or a memory, maybe even just recently, about feeling not accepted? You kind of want to bring that story into your consciousness, bring it into your body, feel it wherever it shows up, and then give it a number. And the reason we do this is because all of these things are things that we are holding on to physically, whether we know it or not. So if we can sense anyway where we're carrying the pain or the suffering or the disbelief or that lack feeling, that negative emotion, and it's all fear-based, right? If we can connect with where it's showing up in our body, it's a little bit easier to release. So we want to find where it's showing up in our body and then give it a number on a scale of 0, let's say, to 10, where 0 is we don't feel any pain with it, and 10 is we feel the worst pain possible with it. So through tapping or through releasing the negative emotions, we really do want to call upon and bring into our experience the most challenging feelings that we have on the subject. So this subject is about self-acceptance. So we want to call to mind a memory or an experience that might feel uncomfortable in our bodies. And we want it to feel as uncomfortable as possible. So as close to that 10 as we can possibly make it feel. Because when we call into our experience that negativity, we're merely just acknowledging that it might exist in either us or the collective consciousness or both. And we are ready to release it from there. Okay, so we're ready to shift the perspective of what that looks like. So we're going to do a little EFT session, and we're going to start with the karate chop. And with that karate chop, we're going to just acknowledge that even if I never accept myself, and you're going to want to repeat these words, by the way, either out loud or to yourself, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even if I never accept my gifts, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even if I never share my wisdom, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. So sometimes it's hard to even just say those words, okay? So know that you're in good company if it's hard for you to say any of that, okay? Start in the middle of your eyebrows. And I do both sides. I do both because I like to keep the yin and the yang of my experience centered and balanced. So I happen to do both. Many people don't. Many people just use one and just tap on one side and then maybe sometimes switch it up. You can do whatever you want to do, whatever feels right for you. And also one more note, you don't ever want to do tapping in a way that hurts you or makes you uncomfortable or might leave marks or bruises or anything. You're just barely even touching yourself, okay? So it should never hurt to tap, okay? So these feelings of not accepting myself, and I'm going to close my eyes because it helps me concentrate and connect to source a little bit better so that I can intuitively guide us through this, okay? So the side of the eyes. Even if my gifts, when I don't accept my gifts, under the eyes. My wisdom, I don't accept my wisdom. When it comes to self-acceptance, I don't acknowledge it. At the collarbone, it's very hard to love myself. Under the armpits. It's very hard to let others love me. Sometimes I have trust issues around this. At the eyebrows, I don't want to let people in. Because if I let them in, they might judge me. If I let them into my thoughts, they might think I'm not lovable. If they know what my gifts are, they might want me to change them. Under the arms, so it's easier to remain unseen. It's easier when nobody sees me. Because if nobody sees me, I don't have to explain myself. So I'd rather not rock the boat. I'd rather just show up and make nice. I'd rather people not know exactly who I am. At the collarbone. Because if people know exactly who I am, they might not like me. Under the arms. On the top of the head, they might not like what they see. They might not like what I say. They might not like how I'm showing up in the world. Ooh, they might disagree with me. And I don't want to be surrounded by people who disagree with me. So I just make nice. I don't rock the boat. Because if I rocked the boat, it wouldn't feel good. And I don't want to not feel good. I want to feel good. But if I voice my opinion, and if people know who I am and what I'm about, they might not accept me. Collarbone, they might not think I'm good enough. And if they don't think I'm good enough, ooh, this is a good one, you guys. I might not think I'm good enough. I might believe them. I've believed them my whole life. I don't want to rock that boat. It's easier to stay unseen. It's easier to stay unheard. Collarbone, it's easier to stay within myself than put my belief systems out into the world. Under the arms, because if I put my belief systems out into the world, up on the crown chakra, they might want to hold me back at between the eyes. And if they hold me back, or if they want to hold me back, I might not be able to stop myself. Under the eye. And if I can't stop myself, I could get in trouble. I could cause too much havoc at my chin, or I mean at my collarbone. I'm just gonna stay here for a second. So if people don't accept me and they don't support me and they're judging me, and I don't want to feel any of those things, so I keep to myself and I keep quiet, and then only I have to feel bad. They don't have to feel bad also. Ooh, there's that wanting to help everybody instead of helping ourselves first piece, right? So just as we're tapping on the collarbone, just check in with your body. See if you're feeling this anywhere. If you're feeling it somewhere, like if you're feeling it in your throat, if you're feeling it in your heart, if you're feeling it in your gut, maybe you're feeling it, who knows? Anyway, so you're gonna just check in with your body, make sure that your number, or you're not making sure of anything. You're just acknowledging that your body is feeling a very specific way around some of the words that we're saying here, okay? It's either higher than it started out, in which case you'd want to keep tapping through it and keep acknowledging those negative thoughts and keep bringing them to the surface. Because the more we acknowledge them, the more likely they are to let go of their grip on us, of their like I feel like choked, I feel when when we get into the heart of this, it feels really tight in my throat because I maybe am not speaking all of my truth because it's scary to do that, okay? But B, I also am super sensitive to the world around me, and I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, right? I'm that good girl in me. Wants everybody to only see the good girl in me, right? Not the bad girl. We're so silly. We're so hard on ourselves. It's not even funny. Okay, so as we are tapping here, I'm personally feeling a lot better, and I'm definitely seeing all the lies that we're potentially telling ourselves, right? So when you start to think to yourself, gosh, this is a bunch of dookie. All these things that I'm saying are just ridiculous. They're not even true. That's when you're ready, usually, when you're ready to start turning it around. Because you're recognizing that even though we're having these really mean thoughts, we're so mean to ourselves. We would never talk to somebody else the way that we talk to ourselves. So when we're acknowledging that lie, we're ready to turn it around. So at the heart space, we're gonna just go under the arms and say, but maybe. And then we're gonna go on the top of our head and say, this is just a story. And it's a lousy story. Inside the eyes. And it may be time to release this lousy story and embrace the truth. And the truth is, I am good enough. I do have a lot of wisdom to share. Under the arms, I do accept my gifts. And I might be ready to start sharing them with the world. Because I know in my heart that if everybody knew what I knew, the world would be a better place. Under the nose. And if the world is a better place, under the lips, I can show up as a better person. And when I'm the example I want to see in the world, under the arms, I feel more integral. On the top of the head, and when I feel more integral, everything in my life goes smoother. Everything in my life is happier, and everything in my life feels better. I'm more accepting of experiences around me. I'm more neutral around emotions that don't serve me. And I'm more understanding about why people make decisions that they make. Under the arms, when I accept myself, I accept others. Ooh, that's a good one. Let's tap all the way through, all the points on that. When I accept myself, I accept others. 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 Under the arms, when I accept myself, I accept others. I think when I accept myself, I accept others. We'll end on that, and then we'll come back to the heart space and just tap really lightly and just say, and I fully accept myself exactly as I am today. I'm going to say that 3 times. I fully accept myself exactly as I am today. I fully accept myself exactly as I am today. Aww. That makes me so much lighter and happier. Okay, so thank you for being here for day 23 of the 28-day Go Live Challenge. I'm Jamie Allen Bishop with Soul Heart Entertainment. Hopefully you found that EFT tapping session to be of value. And of course, if you'd like to know more, private message me. Bye for now.